The story begins in a prison in Siberia, where many German soldiers are standing in a line in the freezing cold. After World War II ended, Russia had taken a large number of German soldiers as prisoners. They were forced to work day and night in coal mines. Although the security of this prison was not very strict, no prisoner dared to escape. The reason was simple. The prison was surrounded by endless freezing snow. It was located nearly 18,000 kilometers away from any human settlement. Even if someone escaped, the deadly Siberian cold would not let them survive. The prison stood in the middle of a vast icy desert, so the thought of escape never crossed anyone's mind. But among the prisoners, there was one man whose mind worked differently. He was desperate to meet his wife and daughter. His name was Hubert Prinkfurth. He had been sentenced to 25 years in prison, and he did not want half of his life to end there. No matter what, he wanted to escape. One day, he finally got a chance. He hid inside a coal train and managed to escape. When he came out and saw the open sky filled with stars, his joy knew no bounds. But his happiness didn't last long. After a short distance, the train suddenly stopped. When Hubert looked outside, a Russian soldier was standing in front of him with a gun. He was caught. As punishment, he was locked in an open cell. The freezing rain and cold made his condition worse, and he had to survive there for 2 full days. After 2 days, the warden came and released him without punishment. He simply said, "Your companions are waiting for you." When Hubert returned, the other prisoners were waiting with sticks and rods. They were furious because due to his escape attempt, they had been denied food for 2 days. They brutally beat him, and he was badly injured and admitted to the prison hospital. The prison doctor was also a German prisoner. When Hubert regained consciousness, he said to the doctor, "I want to escape again. I need your help." The doctor was shocked by his courage. He said, "Escaping alive is almost impossible, but the truth is, if you stay here, you will die anyway. The coal dust has already entered your lungs. You may soon develop cancer." Then the doctor decided to help him. He gave Hubert his warm clothes, snow boots, supplies, a gun, and told him where food was hidden near the railway. The doctor himself had planned to escape, but he had recently discovered that he had cancer and only a month to live. He handed Hubert a lunchbox and said, "If you survive, please give this to my family and tell them I am no longer alive." That night, Hubert escaped again, this time on foot. The warden soon discovered the escape and went to question the doctor, but the doctor had already taken his own life, knowing he would be tortured. Search teams were sent, but heavy snowfall erased Hubert's footprints. Meanwhile, Hubert kept walking through the blizzards for days. After 9 days, he thought he heard sled dogs, but it turned out to be a dream. He had been walking without proper food and was extremely weak. One day, he saw a seal. After a difficult struggle and a fall into icy water, he finally managed to kill it and ate properly for the first time in days. He continued walking for months, talking to himself to stay sane and using a compass to avoid losing direction. After 2 months, he saw a small tree, a sign that he had finally crossed the endless ice. Soon, the forest began. For the first time in months, he made a fire and slept peacefully. But danger was never far. A storm knocked a tree onto him, but 2 gold prospectors found and saved him. They traveled together, built a boat to cross a river, and during the crossing, Hubert even saved one of them from drowning. However, greed and mistrust led to betrayal and violence. Eventually, Hubert was left alone again. Later, wolves attacked him, but hunters saved his life and took him to their village. The villagers cared for him, but when the warden's warning letter arrived, he had to leave to protect them. They gave him supplies and a hunting dog as a companion. During his journey, factory workers helped him and put him on a train to Germany, but the factory owner secretly informed the warden. Hubert spotted the soldiers in time and jumped from the train. His dog attacked the warden to save him but was shot and killed. Heartbroken but determined, Hubert escaped once again. Years passed. 7 years after his escape, he finally reached Central Asia. With the help of a former prisoner, he received a new passport and headed toward the German border. At the border, his heart pounded as the Russian guard checked his documents, but he was allowed to pass. He stepped onto the bridge that led to Germany. Suddenly, a bright light fell on his face. The warden was standing there. Hubert realized he was still technically on Russian territory and could be arrested. But then, something unexpected happened. The warden stepped aside and said, "This war was only between 2 soldiers, You and me. And you one. Go live your life. Hubert crossed the border. Finally, he reached home. From a distance, he saw his wife and daughter heading to church. When his daughter turned around, she recognized him and ran into his arms. After so many years, the family was reunited, and this is where the film based on this true story ends.